welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady. I have been in the mood for just like grungy makeup, grungy eyeshadow, and I've really been wanting to do a blue eyeshadow look. So the point of today's video is really just playing with makeup, taking the opportunity to love and play with the beautiful products that I already own. I just watched a video by Alexa Chan that I'll have linked in the comments. I think I talked about her in my last video, but she really just talks about getting back to playing with makeup and just enjoying the makeup that you have. And I found it really inspirational to just play with my makeup. Like, if you guys are anything like me, we are constantly looking for what's the cool new product out on the market. And I think that's fun, and I'm not going to not buy makeup, but I really also like everything that I have in front of me was once like the thing that I had my eye on. So why not just enjoy these things? I have plenty of great makeup in front of me. So I want to do that today. If you've ever watched Alexa's videos, she likes to talk a lot about MAC cosmetics. I have never had great experience with MAC. I don't know that any of it's been terrible, but it's never like stuck with me the way that it works for her, and that's totally okay. We have different preferences, we have different skin types, all of that. That's fine. But MAC does, every month or so, they do a MAC trend. And the trend, I think for August, is their, I'm gonna mispronounce, Ingenue Blue. And so wanting to do like a grungy blue eye look, I thought we could also throw in, make it a part of this MAC trend Ingenue Blue eye look. So this is going to be my spin on that MAC trend. Also just playing with and loving the makeup that I have. I don't know exactly which products I'm going to use, but I have lots of cool products in front of me. So we'll probably go back and forth from some different eyeshadow palettes and all of that. So I am ready to get into it. For starters, I do already have my foundation on. I combined my Airpress Oat Milk Foundation. This is the shade Latte. And my Clover by Clove & Hollow Skin is in Serum Foundation. This is the shade 4. This one's too light, this one's too deep, so I combined the two for my foundation. And I think it provides a very nice medium full coverage. And I really wanted to do like an all-out glam in this, so we're going for the fuller coverage. I also have on this Airpress Lychee Cream Corrector. This is the shade Uno. This is a little bit too light for me, but I'll make it work. I have it under my eyes and then on some spots, and before I'm done with this look, I'm sure I'll go back in with concealer, whether this one or another one, just to tidy everything up. Of course, I set everything with my Sydney Grace Cloud 9 setting powder. I have a little bit of my Sydney Grace Strong Clear Brow Gel in my brows, but I think we're gonna come back and do a little bit more for them. And on my lips, I have my Sydney Grace lip topper. This is the shade Trisha. So my face is set, but I typically don't mind and look for products, cream and liquid products that apply over powder. So typically if I'm going to have a cream or liquid bronzer or blush in my collection, it's something that I find works well over set, like a powdered face. So with that said, I want to go into my Danessa Myricks Contour Balm. This is the shade Fair 1, and I'm going to use this Real Techniques angled brush to apply. Because we are doing the most today, I also want to go in with powder bronzer. This is Give Me Glow in the shade Ocean Drive. This is a beautiful bronzer because it's not super warm. It's not cool toned, it's really neutral, but it's flattering on us fair skin tones that sometimes struggle to find not orange bronzers. They do have more updated packaging now, which is nice. I don't have any bronzers in the updated packaging. I have one of their blushes in the newer packaging, and I really like that packaging. And in fact, that might end up being the blush that we use today, but I'm gonna come back to blush later. Also the eyebrows, we will come back to the eyebrows later. I'm gonna put on my eyeshadow primer. This is About Face. Okay, now for this blue, ingenue blue eye, my own twist on it. I'm just taking inspiration to reach into the blue, but since I'm wanting grungier, deeper tones, I want to show you some of the eyeshadow palettes that I am thinking about when I'm thinking about this smoky blue look. And then we'll probably kind of just jump all around to complete the look that I'm going for. I'm not aiming to use like one particular palette or product to achieve this look. So this palette is actually one that didn't come to mind right away, but I was thumbing through my little drawer and this one caught my attention and I was like, oh yes, like this blue and this blue. And then we've got plenty of just like grungy tones here. This palette in a way kind of reminds me of the two new palettes that Ensley Rain just released, but like together, because Flutter is more cool, more grungy, and Flourish is more vibrant. Also kind of makes me think of Ensley Rain Cosmic Dreamer because we have some pops of color with a bunch of grungier tones in there, and I'll show you that palette in just a minute. But this one really, I mean, this beautiful blue shade Bustling here. In fact, let's just swatch some while we go through here. Here is the shade Bustling, and here is Bustling on the back of my hand. Such a fun shade. Gets across both like the blue and the grungy. And I like that that shade pairs well with both of these mattes. Like it kind of has both of those colors in it. I didn't say, this is Glaminatrix Into the Night palette. Another palette that came to mind is my Sydney Grace Tropicolor palette. Now this one doesn't have so much of the like grungy tones. Like we have some deeper mattes for sure. We have these metallics that have a deeper base to them. So this is one palette that I don't reach for all the time because of that. It's still a beautiful palette and it's Tropicolor. Like it's meant to be like colorful, tropical, more bright. So that's why I say it's like not necessarily grungy blue that I'm looking for, but regardless, Sydney Grace has beautiful formulas, and the shade Negril and the shade Waterfalls and even this Lignum Vitae, I think that's how you pronounce that. These are like a look with those three shades would so be in this like grungy blue that I'm thinking of. Also these two mattes here, these two lighter blue mattes, we've got Blue Maho and Wolmer's. Those two mattes I think are really interesting, and we might end up pulling into those in our look today. Here are those two shimmer shades that I pointed out from the Tropicolor palette. This is Lignum Vitae and this is Waterfalls. And you can see the beautiful smooth metallic formula that Sydney Grace used in this palette. Next we have Ensley Rain Twisted Tea Party palette. This little corner right here is this like blue grungy smoky, and I'll swatch these two shades. This shade, I've talked about it before, Elixir, just like blew my mind when I first used it. I was not expecting what I got from it. It's so pretty. But like this little quad and then especially like these couple of mattes, we definitely got that like grunginess. Of course, we've got a true black matte in here too. Definitely got grunginess with pops of color. Here we have the shades Elixir and Bonkers. Elixir is, oh my goodness, so cool. It's got this like blue green shift on top of a more sheer base, and Bonkers here has some beautiful holographic sparkles in it. It also has a shift. I don't know that we'll be able to see it too well in this lighting, but it has a shift to a more purple shade. Okay, just two more palettes that I want to share and then we'll get into the look. Looking through them like this and swatching is kind of giving me inspiration, so that's why we're doing this. Next palette that I'm thinking about is Ensley Rain Cosmic Dreamer. This is of course their revamped version, and you can see, I mean, so much of this palette has these like grungy tones to it with pops up here like we were talking about with the Glaminatrix palette. But when I'm thinking like fall tones, oh my goodness, these rows right here for fall, they have all the grungy, they have all the depth. This row in particular, and even this like teal, I used this in a just like plain look the other day and oh, it's so pretty. But these blues are like that grungy, smoky depth. So I'm gonna swatch this shade here which is Lunar Storm. So here we have this shade Lunar Storm. It looks kind of similar to Bonkers up here, and it has some similarity, but it is a little bit more teal. There's just a little bit more green in that shade as opposed to more blue in Bonkers. And the shift on Lunar Storm is stronger. Again, in this lighting, I'm not sure that you'll be able to see it, but it flips to a more vibrant purple. Bonkers flips to a less vibrant purple. Okay, you know that if I can, I'm going to pull out Ensley Rain Lands of Enchantment. This palette just is so good. So good. This is another palette. We've got beautiful, softer shades up here. We've got some of these interesting bluish tones. This is more purple. This is a little more turquoise teal. But this is a really interesting blue matte, and I love that. And then we've got like a deep navy down here, another deep teal right here, and then we've got these two beautiful blues. I'm going to be swatching both of these. And then we've got this like cool toned blue, and this, which is a more sheer shade. Okay, here we have Moon Magic and Starseed. So Moon Magic is, again, kind of similar to these other two Ensley Rain shades, but it has its own twist. So Moon Magic has more holographic sparkles, just like these two, and it's a bit deeper of a blue with an even stronger purple flip. Starseed here is one of those shades that it gets me. Like, I am so fascinated by this shade. The impact, the reflect, the flash, the brilliance that Starseed has, that I think is my direction for today's look. I would be so happy going in the direction with any of these, but I really do think Starseed is calling my name today. I know that this brush is dirty, but I have been using this lately and I really am appreciating the shape of this. When I first got it, I didn't know what I would use it for, but, and this several years ago when I picked this up. This is just a BH Cosmetics brush. It came in one of their brush sets. I have a few of the others still. I may have given some away, but this one, it's got a nice like handle on it. It's really nice quality, and it's such an interesting shape. So it looks like a shader brush, but it's a little bit like thicker than I would maybe go for in a shader brush. And it has not like a lot of give, but a little bit. So I've been using this when I've done all matte looks lately, which I've been loving. Grungy, like fall tones, all matte looks, or mostly matte looks with a splash of sparkle on the inner corner. But this brush has been really good for kind of helping me control the shape and also like pack on that matte shadow. Sometimes when you use like a really fluffy brush with a matte shadow, it can get patchy or it can get like just sheared out because you're using a fluffy brush and kind of moving it everywhere. So this has been a good brush for packing. So speaking of packing, I'm going to dip into Ensley Rain Lands of Enchantment and go into Edge of Night. This is a beautiful deep navy shade, and I'm going to start that at least on the outer portion of my eye, also maybe kind of everywhere. I also want to like do the shape of my eyeshadow a little bit differently. I usually like take it up and then in, and I want to like have it down a little bit lower, like where the point of my V is. I don't know, just like change it up, right? Why not? I'm going to take this Sierra Martin brush and run that blue under the outer portion of my lower lash line as well. I will come back to blend and buff everything out, but I want to go into Tropicolor now. I want to go into the shade Warmers and use that over the middle portion of my eye, and I'm going to put it all over my eye. I just cleaned off this brush using, this is not like a Sigma switch, it's like the TJ Maxx version, but I find it very helpful. Probably about time for a new one. That one's getting a little bit beat up. Another product that I just thought of that would be so pretty in this is my Sydney Grace Cream Shadow. This is the shade Cool Breeze. I'll do a swatch. I think this really reflects some of the inspiration pictures on the Mac Trend website. And so this would be a really cool way to do. You could even just do this as like a one and done. They, in that Mac Trend inspiration, I'll pop up a few pictures. They really lean into like the cooler silvery blue, which is gorgeous in its own right. And I think that Cool Breeze so beautifully reflects that. It's almost like it's deeper on the sides than it is in the middle. So pretty. And if you're not new here, you know how much I love and adore the Sydney Grace Cream Shadow formula. Okay, I'm gonna change up the color story on the eyes a little bit. Did I warn you that this was gonna be a little crazy? If I didn't, well, now you know. I'm gonna take this beautiful purpley shade. This is the shade Atlantis, and I'm gonna use that on like just the inner portion here. I think that will change it up just a little bit. Not like we need to add more interest to this eye look, but because we can. Oh my gosh, I love that shade so much. I could stop here. Like this could be ingenue blue. Like this inspired blue eyeshadow. What is it about all mattes that are just getting me so excited lately? Like when you have good quality mattes, like the ones that I have here, for example, there are other good options out there. They just make me so happy and they look so pretty. And just in the palettes that I showed you today, I've got some really cool shades and tones and colors. Calm down, Bekah Joe. Calm down. I'm gonna need to make this a regular type of video on my channel. Like, I love to do this, but typically this ends up just becoming, not that it's not valid, but it ends up just becoming like an Instagram post. And I'm like, oh, Instagram, look at this cool eyeshadow look that I did. But like, why not also do it on camera with you guys if you're looking for inspiration, if you need some background noise. Maybe you don't care at all, that's fine too. But like, for those that do care, like sharing this kind of stuff, I don't know, I'm feeling really inspired and I hope that it's inspirational to you as well. I'm gonna go back and forth between those mattes and make sure that I've got the blends that I want across the lid and between the shades. I'm gonna go back to my Lands of Enchantment and grab the shade Palladian and put that on the rest of the lower lash line. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Bekah Joe, that's really deep. You don't go for really deep lower lash lines. And I'm here to tell you that we're gonna do it because I want to, and because I don't have any plans with where I'm going with this makeup. I'm just having fun with it. Now, will anyone be able to tell that that's two different shades on my lower lash line? No, just me. If I look really closely in the mirror, I don't care, that's fine. Back to my Tropicolor palette, I want to take the shade Rainforest and use that on the lower lash line. I think that's going to be really cool, and I did it in, I think, one of my last videos, but I'm liking doing the like metallic shimmer, whatever, on the lower lash line. I think it adds a little interest to the look. I'm gonna go into my Ensley Rain Glitz Fix Prime and Shine and use this as my like glitter glue for this look. I'm using a Blend Bunny eyeshadow brush, just dipping into that in what's left on the inside of the lid here, tapping that on my eyes. And I'm tapping, not blending, because I don't want to mess up the mattes. Now we're gonna cover the mattes with the shimmer, so it's not the end of the world, but I also don't want to mess up the beautiful mattes underneath. I'm gonna dip into the shade Starseed and put that over at least the deep matte and like the middle blue matte, and then we'll put something different on the inner portion, and then I think we're gonna do something even different for the inner corner. This is so dramatic, so ingenue blue, so much fun. I'm gonna dip into Lignum Vitae from the Tropicolor palette and put that right here on the inner portion. That shimmer and that matte are so perfect together. Okay, I'll do like an up close before all is said and done, don't you worry. For the like innermost corner of my eye, I want to dip into the shade Light Language. This shade is like so cool. And like I had seen and heard people talking about it, but before I got my hands on the palette, I like didn't understand. It's so cool. Let me show you a finger swatch. The shade is like a white base with an electric blue shift to it. Like, are you kidding me? That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to put this on the inner portion of my eyes, and then I am going to use a blending brush and just kind of soften the edges of everything, do any other blending that I want to do, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have done the blending. Yes, I drug Light Language like weirdly down here. I say weirdly, I didn't mean to. If that's the look you're going for, by all means do it. I'll fix that up with concealer in a minute. I want to use this LA Girl. I just picked up this eye pencil. This is the shade Ocean, and this is a really cool like metallic blue. I'm gonna use that in my waterline. Using waterline eye colors is something that I kind of want to like get into on a regular basis. So part of that is having good ones that don't irritate your eyes. This is the first time I'm using this one, so we will see. But I've had others from LA Girl that tend to work really well for me, and they're really inexpensive. So we will be trying this out. So far, no irritation. Okay, folks, today is the day. Today is the day. I'm opening a new mascara. The last couple months, I've been bouncing back and forth between my Maybelline Sky High and my Clinique High Impact. These are both waterproof mascaras, and so I had gotten them for the wedding that I was in recently, but neither of them are a favorite. They're waterproof. I'm a crier, especially at weddings. I'm glad I had the waterproof. It worked out fine, but I don't love those mascaras. So today I am opening, and I already have the tube dirty, my Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I've had this once before, and I really liked it. So I'm gonna put some of this on my lashes. I'll be right back. There is mascara. I feel like on my blonde eyelashes, adding mascara adds so much to a look, and I am digging this. This is exactly the mood that I was going for. I'm so happy with this right now. Now, could this look be improved with lashes? 1000% yes. Am I going to put some on? No, because I don't feel like wearing lashes right now. If you're like following along or feeling inspired in any sense and you want to do false lashes, please do. I think they would look so cool. Now I want to dip into my Sydney Grace brow palette, and I'm going to use this and add just a little bit more shape and depth to my eyebrows. I'm going to use just a little bit of my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer under my eyes to clean up right here and around the sides, and then I'm gonna go see what my dog is barking about. For blush, I'm gonna go into, oh, the dog was barking at nothing, by the way, my Give Me Glow blush in the shade Ginger Spice. Sorry that the packaging is super reflective. Hopefully that did not blind you. This blush is super pigmented. The color is so pretty and the formula is so pretty on the skin. I really, really like the formula. I do want to go in and attempt to like soften the blush just a little bit. Not that it's bad. I think I applied maybe a little bit more than I would have liked to, but I have this Hourglass ambient lighting palette that I don't even know where it came from. I got it several years ago. So I have seen some makeup artists here on YouTube that will take this type of product and use it to blur the finish of everything. Do you guys do anything like that or have any recommendations for that? I don't typically do that on the day-to-day, partly because I just don't use so much that I feel like I need to blur it out. But on an occasion like this, like I want to make sure that everything is a little bit more softened and diffused. So curious to hear your thoughts if you do anything like that or if you think that that's just like one of those unnecessary steps. In some regard, I definitely wanted a pigmented blush because we've got so much going on the eyes. So I'm not upset that that color went on the way that it did. I just want to make sure that the edges of everything is well blurred. Okay, for my lips, I just wiped off whatever gloss was left over, but I want to use one of these Unearthly lip glosses. I have the shades Amber and Kaylina. I think Kaylina is a little more mustardy, but I think Amber, which is ironic because this one feels more amber in color to me, but I think Amber might match the blush a little bit better. So I'm going to put some of this on and then we will wrap everything up. Okay, so here we are. Here is the lippy on, as well as blush and eyeshadow and the whole thing. I know that I have been standing here filming for quite a while, so thank you to those of you who stuck it out with me through this entire video. I had so much fun putting this look together, and I'm probably gonna have to bring this back in some sort of regular way. I'll probably start a playlist with just like a let's just play with makeup theme, because that is what I like to do. In Alexa's video, she talks about just getting back to OG YouTube and just enjoying our makeup. I know that in today's influencer world, we want to see what the newest thing is out there and we want to chase down whatever cool stuff. Got to get our hands on the newest stuff, and I totally get that, and I'm not by any means saying that that's not okay. Do whatever works for you. I am just saying every once in a while, I think it's worth stopping to appreciate the stuff that you have, playing with it. Maybe, you know, a look like this isn't your thing. That's okay. Maybe you did this on a regular basis and you're like, girl, that's not even playing. That's just like day to day. By all means, have fun with your makeup. I just wanted this video to be encouraging in that vein. Don't forget to love and enjoy the makeup that you already have. I know that I showed a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I know that those eyeshadow palettes add up. So maybe you have one eyeshadow palette. That's okay. You can play with it. You can have fun with it. Maybe you don't have any eyeshadow palettes. Maybe you're new to makeup, and that's okay too. You just like seeing, and maybe even seeing someone who is as amateurish as me playing with makeup is inspiring to you in some other way. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I thank you so much for being here. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave that in the comment section down there. I'd love to continue the conversation. And if you are new to my channel, I'd love it if you'd consider becoming a subscriber. Once again, thank you so much for being here today, and I hope to see you in the next one.